Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I'm not in China today, and this time I am in Bangkok, Thailand. So I want to take a chance this time to make a little review or comparison of the airports from Thailand compared with the ones in China. We've been to so many cities all around the country, and now we have the chance to travel out of China. We have the opportunity to see the differences. The main differences we're going to find in places like airports, shopping malls, hotels. Right now we are in Dong Muang Ang Airport here in Bangkok. This is kind of like a secondary airport here. It's not the main one, but this one serves mostly for domestic connections. In general, you can start noticing a lot of differences. The main one I will say is the space. When you walk through a Chinese airport like in Shenzhen or Guangzhou or Shanghai, you feel those airports are massive. You have a lot of space, you have a lot of different options, restaurants, you have lounges, you have toilets everywhere. While here, even though you used to have those kind of services, it's like in a smaller scale, right? Even though the little lounges that you can find here, the VIP lounges, are not, they don't look the same, they don't feel the same. Actually, I'm passing by one of them. It looks like more like a regular restaurant on the way rather than a lounge. The other thing that you can find a noticeable difference is the service. And in that case, I will say I'll feel more comfortable being in an airport in Southeast Asia. And I'm talking about a friendly smile or the ability of the people who work at an airport to speak English. So communication is easier, especially for international travelers like us. I was in the other side of the airport, which seems emptier, but this is like the main part of the airport, like the central location. So you have most of the restaurants here. You have the security check, of course, also here. Cafes, you have souvenir shops. Definitely a lot of people because, of course, this is the area where you have access to this part of the airport. Another big difference you start noticing is the amount of international travelers. I will say nearly half of the travelers that you can see in these airports are foreigners. And of course, because of these 3 years of restrictions we've been through in China, you don't get to see many foreign visitors there. But I think that is about to change now that all the restrictions are over. So a lot of travelers will start visiting once again a lot of different Chinese cities, both for leisure and business. And after 3 wonderful days in Phuket, we are in Phuket Airport, waiting our flight back to Bangkok. If you guys want to check out our adventure here in Phuket, you can go and check out my other channel. It will be the video right there in Spanish only. I am making another traveling channel in Spanish. The name is Rafa por el Mundo. It's kind of like Rafa goes around the world, something like that. Okay, so we are in Phuket Airport. It feels actually quite nice, a little bit better, I have to say, than Dong Muang Ang Airport in Bangkok. Actually, it reminds me of an American airport for some reason. I think it's the carpeted floors. That's a major difference also you will find with Chinese airports. I don't remember seeing any airport in mainland China with carpet. If you think of a new airport like Beijing Daxing or Shenzhen Bao'an, all these airports, they do not have carpet at all. So that is a big difference. Also, and I always make a remark about the space, because when you come to an airport and you spend maybe 1 or 2 hours before boarding your flight, you want to have a big space. At least that's one of my preferences. I like to have a big space, and here it's not that kind of airport. It feels a little bit crowded. There are a lot of shops, places where you can buy snacks or souvenirs if you want for the last minute. There are also a few lounges, but the airport is pretty small. This is an international airport, and I think this is just in the domestic terminal, so we will not be able to see the international airport. I believe that terminal might be a little bit larger somehow, but this area looks a little bit outdated, a little bit dark. I think there are only perhaps 11, no more than 15 boarding gates. Security check was pretty fast, and this is something I also like a lot about Chinese airports. You have a lot of security check lines when you're passing or you're crossing through your boarding gate. I think security checks in mainland China are way more strict than any other part of the world. You just passing here, they just check if you have laptops or iPad like any other regular airport, but in China, they ask you to take your power banks, for example, out of the backpack. Also, here I have the battery from my drone. They didn't request to take it out of my backpack here. I also see these little cute robots. It's like robot vacuum or cleaning robots. They're also very, very common in mainland China. You have them here as well, which is very nice. So automated machines are just going all around the airport, cleaning the carpet. The airport feels just okay. If you compare again, I have my son here. This is Jay with me walking around me. This is nothing. So in general, so far the experience has been just okay. This tells me that definitely all these huge, wonderful Chinese airports are just outstanding. They're just amazing. I still have one more airport to check. That's going to be after 2 days when we're taking our flight back to Hong Kong. That is going to be the biggest airport I think in Thailand, is the Bangkok airport. And finally, to end our tour throughout several airports here in Thailand, we came to the main airport here in Bangkok. This is Suvarnabhumi. I have to admit it, I went to Google to check what's the pronunciation of this airport because I wasn't sure how to say it. This is the largest airport here in Thailand actually, that is connecting with a lot of different cities and countries all around the world. And we're about to take our flight back to Hong Kong. This airport feels way bigger actually than the other two that we visited, and of course this is the main airport here in Thailand, so of course you will see a lot of people. And that's again another of the reasons why I prefer Chinese airports. No matter how many people will travel through airports in China, they don't feel as packed as these kind of airports here in Southeast Asia at all. Even though this airport, it seems very big, you can see a lot of check-in counters all around the airport. Some of them are still closed, but still in mainland China, when you visit any big major airport, you will see this amount of check-in counters. But I don't know, maybe the speed or maybe the amount of staff that they have there to check in people make it feel way faster. And actually, I am looking at the line to go through the security check is really long, and we have to go through that later on over there. The only time I spent a long time to cross security check was once I was arriving in Beijing 5 or 6 years ago. I need to transfer for a connecting flight to Shenzhen, and that was in Capital Airport. And in that time, that was the only international airport in Beijing. Now they have Daxing Airport, which is wonderful, beautiful, massive structure. I think we need to wait until the international traveling goes back to pre-pandemic time to actually see what's going to be the situation. But I highly doubt it's going to feel this packed. I read the news Bangkok is planning to build an airport or airport city or traveling city, something like that, sometime in the future. which I think is fair. It's necessary because this airport already feels a little bit crowded and small. This is what I was telling you about, this huge line just across security check. It might take a few minutes depending on how many security lanes are there open, but this is something you will never ever see in mainland China, definitely. That first line that we made downstairs was just to check a QR code to have access to the actual line for security check, which is this one, and it will take probably, I don't know, like 30 minutes. It's quite a long line. Oh my gosh, that took us a while. Like since the moment we started queuing up to cross the first QR code check until we passed passport check, it took us around almost an hour to go through all these. And this area starts feeling a little bit more international. It's somehow also similar to what you can find in any airport around the world. I mean, it's not only about a clean floor or a big shiny building. The traveling experience starts when you leave home or when you leave your hotel and start going to airport, going back home. When we take into consideration also the transportation infrastructure that you can find in mainland China, that's a big advantage over any other airport around Southeast Asia. We took a taxi to come here and it took us almost an hour because there was a huge traffic jam because of the time. The highways, they're not so well maintained. I saw there is a train that can connect from downtown Bangkok all the way to the airport, but since we are with Jay, we just took a taxi. But when you consider all these major airports in mainland China, like the new ones in Chengdu, Qingdao Airport, Beijing Daxing Airport, when these big airports are designed, they're also built different kind of metro line, high-speed railway lines connecting the airport to the downtowns of each city. Even lines connecting the two major airports, which is the case in Beijing. There is one line right now under construction that will be connecting Capital Airport with Daxing Airport. There's another project that will be connecting Shenzhen Airport with Hong Kong Airport in the future. So it's not just about a building or the time you spend in the security check. It's about the whole experience of commuting, how safe it feels, how clean it feels. Also, the number of hotels you can find within the terminal or in the area around the terminal. When you travel to any Chinese airport, you will definitely find a lot of hotels from different brands, different budgets, and different options to stay if you need to transfer a flight for the next day, or if you want to go the previous day and wait for your flight in an area not so far from the airport. Actually, there is a problem with this terminal, and it's a temperature problem. Bangkok is a very hot city. The main part of the terminal, like the central axis of the terminal, feels comfortable because of air conditioning. Once you go back down there, because of the material they're using to cover this dome, it's like it feels hot, it feels warm. You don't feel the air conditioning anymore. So if you're going to spend a couple hours here before your flight, better come to the central area where you feel comfortable. Over there it's going to be super hot. I also like these charging stations that are placed all around the terminal. Comes super handy and super useful when you need to charge your phone for a few minutes before your flight. And they're located all around the airport. I see them everywhere. That is a plus here. mean, the airport still feels okay. I don't know if I'm too picky or I'm too used to the beauty and the comfort of Chinese airports. But when all these reports come out of the best airports of the world, that usually Singapore heading the lists, also Seoul airport, Hong Kong airport is really good as well. But I've never seen in these airport rankings any airport from mainland China. I'm not sure why those airports are not included in those rankings, but they should. That has been it for this video, my friends. Let me know what you think. If you've ever been to any airport here in Thailand or in mainland China, the ones I mentioned before, make sure to leave the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about the airports here in Thailand. Remember also to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button so you know next time I upload a new video. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. I forgot to tell you once again, if you want to see the video, the full video of our visit, our trip to Bangkok and Phuket, remember to go and check my other channel. The videos are going to be in Spanish, but you can still kind of take a look of our adventure here in Thailand. The channel is Rafa por el Mundo, and I will leave the link here down below so you can click it and go and check those videos.